Hello, everybody. How are you? I am back. I have just came out of a really cruddy cold and just haven't felt like doing anything. So we have to get into some of these events that are happening around the world from Endtimes Headlines. The US and Europe against Russia and China. The stage has been set for World War III. This just came out today. I'm not going to read everything verbatim, but the apocalyptic alliances that we have been anticipating for years have now been formed. It is going to be the US and Europe on one side and Russia and China on the other. All of the marbles are at stake and both sides have plenty of nuclear weapons. On Tuesday, China's top diplomat Wang Yi publicly declared that his nation is ready to join forces with the Russian side. People's Republic of China is ready to join forces with Russia to decisively stand up for national interests and promote mutually beneficial cooperation in all areas. During a virtual meeting at the end of last year, our leaders, Chinese president and Russian president, came up with a plan for further development of bilateral relations. We are ready to join forces with the Russian side in accordance with the high-level agreements to decisively stand up for national interest and virtues and promote mutually beneficial cooperation in all areas, he said. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that plans are being made for Chinese leader to travel to Moscow for a high-level summit. He's preparing to visit Moscow for a summit in the coming months. As Vladimir Putin wages war in Ukraine and portrays himself as a standard bearer against a U.S.-led global order. And meanwhile, the Chinese are using increasingly harsh words to describe U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine. And the Chinese are now calling for the UN to investigate the destruction of the Nord Stream pipelines. China has called on the United Nations to investigate the explosions on the Nord Stream gas pipelines, describing the blast as a deliberate act. I skipped down a little bit, and the quote is, to uncover the truth and identify those responsible. So why would China request such an investigation? Because they know that we did it. And we know that they know that we did it. And they know that we know that they know that we did it. All right? I'm sorry to skip around, but I don't want to read the whole article. I just want to give us the gist of it, okay? The whole world knows that the Biden administration was behind one of the greatest terror attacks in modern history. Biden administration officials can lie until they are blue in the face, but the gig is up. Everyone knows what really happened, and the credibility of the Biden administration is completely evaporated. U.S. relations with China have been steadily deteriorating for some time, but the Biden administration simply absolutely determined to make them even worse. Things that make you say, Take a look at the whole Chinese spy balloon, how it was handled. The incident was handled. The Chinese are not going to forgive, and they are definitely not going to forget. So now Russia and China have decided to become best buddies, and the guy that we keep sending billions of dollars to over in Ukraine is warning that this would result in world war. Okay, guys, that's the first story here. I've got many. I don't believe in putting all your stock in the news because, you believe what you believe. I do believe Endtime Headlines. I do believe their stories, but we can't sit and fret about or fear about anything because God's on the throne. Whatever happens, happens. I will end this with saying that I did have I believe was a vision many years ago. And in this vision, I saw troops coming in through our cities. My city, to be exact, is what I saw. And I knew that in my spirit that it was everywhere. And I couldn't tell. In my mind, I was thinking, are these Russians or Chinese? And back when I was young, it was always Russia's the enemy, Russia's the enemy, Russia's the enemy. It's got to be Russia. But in my vision, I thought, is this Chinese? Is this China? And they were coming out of helicopters, and they were pulling people from their homes and throwing them into trucks. And that was my vision. And then I had another one not that long ago about China rounding people up. You know, hey, I call it a vision because it has not left my mind, and it seemed very clear and very strong. And so now it explains why I was thinking in my mind back in the vision many years ago that it was Russia. But then in my dream, I remember in my vision, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's Russia and China. And that is the truth. That is what actually happened in my vision. But guys, now is the time, if any, to get right with God. Do not put off, okay? Do not put off for tomorrow what you can do today, because it might be today. It might be tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know how much. We'll see. But things are falling into place, guys. Hang in there. God bless you, and I love you. And I will be doing a few news stories today because there's so many headlines. Love you. Until next time.